Hello, everyone. I'm Tamara, and welcome to Tam's Psych Advice. Today, we're going to talk about when INTPs look like ENTPs and when ENTPs look like INTPs. Now, I'm a big believer that a type is a type. I'm a big believer that one letter changes everything. Otherwise, why would you need 16 different types? So some people might think that ENTPs and INTPs are interchangeable because all you're doing is changing the introversion and the extroversion. But if that were the case, then we would just have 8 types, right? So I think one letter changes everything. Some people believe that you can change types in your life. Not true. I think you can move up and down the scale, a little bit more extroverted, a little less extroverted, a little bit more perceiver, a little less perceiver. But I do not believe that you change types unless you have some type of an injury or something like that. But that's really rare. So anyway, let's talk about ENTPs and INTPs. So that being said, I say that to say that even though what I'm about to explain may look like the other, they're still not the other. So let's talk about the INTP first. And when sometimes people think they are an ENTP when they truly are an INTP. And I've seen this several times, actually. There's one YouTuber who does great MBTI videos, and the lady, I strongly believe is an INTP, but she always says that she's an ENTP. And the reason for this is when you get an INTP with a 6 Enneagram, a lot of times it can kind of mirror an ENTP to me. And that's just my opinion. But it kind of does something special to that INTP. And I understand why they feel like they're an ENTP. It can almost extrovert that INTP. But in my opinion, the person is still an INTP. I still see the INTP. It just heightens it and makes it look or feel more like an ENTP. But an ENTP is unique in themselves. I can usually spot an ENTP pretty quickly. INTPs are intelligent people, and they really put a lot of pride in their intelligence. And once they learn something, they know it. They can persevere until they understand every complex nature of something. So they can be thought of as intellectual snobs, which is kind of cool in a way, right? If they are having to work with someone who is not as intelligent as they are, that might be a little bit frustrating to them. But it also might frustrate the person who's working with them, who might think this person is really haughty, or they're snobby, or something like that, and their intellectual ability kind of low-key mates even, because they can go into their own little world. So they may not be so demanding, like, pay attention to me, we have to do 1,000 activities. They can entertain themselves, really struggle to vocalize their emotions, and they can be pretty easygoing unless one of their principles is violated, and then they may not be so easygoing anymore. Sometimes they may not be understood by others because of the complexity in which they think, may not be as interested as engaging socially with other types. But then that's where the 6 comes in. The 6 kind of warms up that INTP nature. 6s can be confrontational at times. They also have a way of drawing people in. Maybe on some level at some point in their life, their young life, they had to learn how to survive and develop some survival skills. And sometimes that can come with knowing how to draw people in so that you get your needs met. And so there's always this element of a 6 that's looking out for safety. Are we safe? Are you safe? So they may have a way of kind of looking out for the underdog kind of a thing. They can have a bit of an edge to them, swag, so to speak. So they can be warm, playful, open. Loyalty is a huge thing with 6s. So if someone is loyal, they're going to make you feel like they're connected to you, like they've got your back. They can be supportive, honest, fair, reliable. On a negative note, though, a 6 may be a little bit more suspicious or inflexible, sarcastic, controlling. They can become like Mr. Tough Guy. As I said earlier, they can be confrontational at times, but it kind of heightens that INTP introverted energy and turns it more outward. Because if you're in survival mode and you're trying to connect with people as a child, you're gonna have to learn some special skills to engage with people and draw them in. And so they can feel to themselves like they are extroverted, like they are ENTPs. But there's sort of this different kind of steadiness or sturdiness that I kind of see in an INTP. Not that an ENTP can't be sturdy. See, words can get you in trouble. That's not what I'm saying. But ENTPs can kind of jump from thing to thing in a bigger way, a more risky way. Whereas it's like the INTP is more intensified in like tinkering with the toy and really perfecting that toy or that item. This ENTP lookalike is going to be very committed and faithful to their friends, to their family. They're going to be responsible and hardworking. They're going to be compassionate towards others. And they're also going to have intellect and wit. They may also have a lot of anxiety that they have to work through. They may need some reassurance that everything is okay. Sometimes when people need reassurance, it kind of draws other people in a little bit, like, okay, I kind of know where to get in with this person. You're going to be able to joke with them and laugh with them. So now let's talk about when the ENTP looks like or feels like an INTP. A little bit about ENTPs. They have a charming way of kind of bypassing what's the standard of things. And they can have a variety of occupation. They don't like too much routine. That could get really boring and make them feel extremely restless. They like outwitting the system, and they can use rules and regulations within the system to make big moves or to kind of outshine or outdo the system. So they don't like dull routine, but they are very creative when it comes to living life. They can laugh easily. They usually have great humor. It can be quite natural when it comes to human relationships and human systems. These people can look suspiciously like INTPs. And you might want to know, when does that happen? If you take the ENTP and you stack the Enneagram 1 on top of it, which is the perfection, you're going to get someone who looks a lot like an INTP. But this person is still not going to be an INTP because they're probably not going to be honing in their skills on one tiny little thing and really developing it and being endlessly curious about it, although they may do that from time to time. But the person is still an ENTP, but they're going to give you an INTP flavor. And this person is going to be really intriguing too. So they're going to be reliable, productive, orderly, honest, self-disciplined. This brand of ENTP is going to try to accomplish a great deal. They're going to have very high standards and ethics. They're not going to want to compromise themselves on anything. They're going to be very responsible, dedicated to everything they do. They're going to be able to put facts together, coming to good understanding and figuring out the best solutions. And they're going to try to bring out the best in other people. They may get really uptight at times, really hard on themselves. They want to be fair and considerate. They may end up doing all the work instead of sharing the responsibility, which could make them feel overwhelmed. And sometimes they may even forget to laugh at themselves. They may worry a lot. They're going to be loyal, dedicated, conscientious, and helpful. Have good follow through, or they will beat themselves up for it. They are going to be warriors. They're going to believe in truth and justice. And they may even see things in terms of right and wrong, good or bad. And before they do something, they're going to be more thorough before they make their decisions. And they may not like being criticized or judged by other people. They may not break. They probably are not going to break as many rules. Not really. They're going to be pretty steadfast when it comes to rules. So they're not going to waver as much on certain things. And they can be, they can compare themselves to other people and even struggle to relax, and even think that at times that they don't deserve to relax because they haven't done enough or they haven't perfected something enough. So it really puts them more in, it makes them come across as more introverted. I know that ENTPs like some downtime. It's not that. It's their presentation may seem more introverted than your typical ENTP. Would it confuse you even more if I told you that these two created types look a lot like each other? Okay, so we won't even go there. When you're feeling down in a crappy mood, it's hard to get out of it by simply thinking happy thoughts, especially these days. Check out my jewelry at the Etsy link below. You'll be amazed at how good it feels to wear something that shifts your mood and lifts your spirit. Imagine wearing something fun and feeling better at the same time. Check out my book, The Workplace Narcissist by Tamara Zyon on Amazon. Bye!